Shalom, I'm Darren with Emet HaTorah. I hope you're doing well. Good to be with you today. I want to share a few things with you. I want to just do a little teaching on this week's Torah portion, Parashat Chayei, the life of Sarah, and bring that from my latest book, 5-Minute Torah, Volume 3, that we're happy to have finally out, and we're going to bring some stuff from it. And also, I want to give you some ministry updates and some opportunities that we have coming up to minister to many people. And that's exciting. I've got a lot of exciting stuff that I want to share. So I hope you'll stick with me for a few minutes while I do a little teaching and do a little sharing on what's going on with the Emet HaTorah. So first of all, I want to begin with this week's Torah portion. This week's Torah portion, as I said, was Chayei, the life of Sarah. And in this, Abraham, first of all, Sarah dies immediately in our Torah portion. And then Abraham goes to purchase a cave where he can bury his beloved. And so in this, he's in a dialogue between himself and Ephron the Hittite. And he says in front of the people that he is discussing this purchase with, he says, I am a sojourner and a foreigner among you. This is Genesis 23, verse 4. And so my question is, why does he say this, and what is its significance? Okay? And so just to give you some background, Sarah died at Hebron, and this is where Abraham is trying to purchase the tomb for her. Okay? But the problem is, the land that the Lord promised Abraham extends from the Nile River in Egypt to the Euphrates River that flows through modern-day Syria and Iraq. Okay, you can see this around Genesis chapter 15, verses 18 through 20. And so before Sarah's passing, Abraham had been dwelling in Beersheba, which is about 45 miles southwest of Jerusalem as the crow flies. And if we think about Abraham's location when he was speaking to these men here, he was already within the land that God had promised him, and was already dwelling in the region, okay? So the problem is, why did he say, I'm a sojourner and a foreigner within you, if this is basically his home and the place that God had already promised him? Shouldn't he have told his audience that he was about to take up permanent residence among them? Okay, so the Rebbe, the Chabad Rebbe, of blessed memory, he understands this statement to mean that Abraham was speaking actually from a spiritual perspective and a spiritual standpoint. What do I mean by that? Let me tell you a story here. So once there's a story about the Chofetz Chaim, and this is Rabbi Israel Meir Kagan. He is known for his incredible works on speech and the tongue and so forth, the topic of Lashon Hara, evil speech, the topic of Shmiras HaLashon, which is guarding the tongue, and proper speech and things like this. And so there's a story about him in which a wealthy Jew from America, who had been deeply touched by his teachings, traveled all the way to Radin, Poland, to visit the great tzaddik in his house. Upon entering his home, he was not only shocked, but also appalled by the condition of his dwellings, particularly the lack of furnishings. There were no chairs, there was no table, no bed, etc. The Chofetz Chaim simply sat at a wooden crate with a candle where he learned Torah. The visitor asked, "Where is your furniture?" And the Chofetz Chaim responded, "Where is yours?" He replied, "That's a ridiculous question. I am merely traveling from far away. Why would I carry all of my furniture with me?" "The same is true for me," the Chofetz Chaim replied. "I'm only passing through this world. Carrying my possessions with me on this journey would be too cumbersome. They are waiting for me at the end of my journey." Isn't that a great story? So the apostles took this position as well. Peter urged his disciples to consider themselves as sojourners in this life so that they would not succumb to the enticements of this world. In 1 Peter chapter 2, he says, "Beloved, I urge you as sojourners and exiles to abstain from the passions of the flesh, which wage war against your soul. Keep your conduct among the Gentiles honorable, so that when they speak against you as evildoers, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day of visitation." Okay? He says, I urge you as sojourners and exiles to abstain from these things. So we must always remember that this life is not permanent. As Peter reminds us, we're merely sojourners in this life. However, sometimes we forget and we believe that we've arrived at our final destination by investing too heavily in the trappings of this world. I think we all fall into that. Often we try to fulfill the spiritual void within us with the material things of this world. However, if we're truly sons and daughters of Abraham, then we should be living with a similar perspective as Abraham. Okay? And so let me move on here. It's time we reassess our purpose in this life. Have we forgotten that we are merely sojourners? Are we using the time, energy, and resources we've been given to live for a higher purpose, or have we settled for less than what we were created for? As long as we view this life as our home, we'll never be able to elevate the holiness of this world and create a dwelling place for God's presence. If we're honest with ourselves based on how we've been living our lives up to this point, can we say, I am a sojourner and a foreigner among you? Or have we become a permanent resident of this world? Good news is, it's not too late to change our perspective and get busy. So my question for you is, what will it take for you to give up your comforts in this world and begin your journey anew? Okay, I want you to think about that. So that's a little nugget from 5-Minute Torah Volume 3, and very happy to have that out. It's going in a lot of hands, and speaking of which, I got a request this past week, the first one from an inmate in the prison systems, requesting one of these volumes. He found out that it's been released and was requesting a volume, and we try to send out anything that we can to these inmates free of charge when they request materials. We can't just sort of send them materials because they're limited in how much they can have at a time. And so if we send them something, they're going to have to get rid of something they may not want to, or reject what we send them. So we don't want to waste our resources that way and waste their time and our shipping charges and all that kind of stuff without knowing that that's something that they can accept. And so, but with that, the cool thing about it is that we have another opportunity, actually a few opportunities, to bless these inmates. They've requested multiple copies of our 8 Lights book, our Hanukkah devotional, to be sent to them. They've got a group of Messianic men in this prison facilities that has been using our materials, and they have heard about 8 Lights, and they want to use it this coming Hanukkah, which is about a month away. And so they've requested multiple copies. Here's a version of it right here, 8 Lights. This is a Hanukkah devotional for followers of Yeshua. And so we are going to send them a bulk order of these to use for their gatherings during Hanukkah. And so that's exciting. They're going to be able to use these. They're going to be able to study and be able to encourage one another through this time and talk about being light and being salt on this earth. And another opportunity is this coming spring, we're also going to send out bulk copies of our Haggadah to these men. They've already requested that. Actually, here's our Cup of Redemption Haggadah that we're going to be sending out. They requested it last year. We sent them out. It was really close to the time of Passover when we sent it, though, because of some miscommunication that happened because of some problems there. Anyway, and for some reason, most of these books got sent back to us. I don't know what the problem was. I think there was miscommunication with the person who was supposed to be receiving them. And anyway, they got sent back, so they didn't really get to use them last year, unfortunately. But this year, we've got clear lines of communication, and so we're going to be sending them a bulk order of the Cup of Redemption, Haggadah, so that they can use it in their Sedur for this year. So that's a couple of opportunities there that we have to bless these inmates who really have to depend on outside sources for these type of things. And we're sending those to them without any, fees or anything like that. They can't afford to pay for anything. So that's a couple of exciting things. And while I'm talking about that, if your congregation needs bulk copies of our books, specifically like 8 Lights or the Cup of Redemption, Haggadah, to use for your congregational purposes, please contact us directly instead of ordering online, because we can get you a discount on those if you order like 50 or more. So let us know and we can help you out there. Just send an email to info@emethatorah.com, info@emethatorah.com, and we'll be happy to hook you up. A few other things, really cool that I was able to first of all, our Sedur has been out of publication for a few years now due to limitations in printing and different things like that. And I was finally able to get that republished, and it's available now on Amazon. You can find it. It's under Tefillot Tamid. It's under Messianic Sedur, and so it's a Sedur, sort of a primer to get you started and help you with your prayers. They're morning and afternoon prayers, Shachrit and Mincha, and that's a good resource there. And so the last few things that I want to talk to you about real quick, give you a quick update, is that a couple of years ago, we were able to get our book, The 4 Responsibilities of a Disciple, translated into Spanish. And a lot of people don't know this, but it is available on Amazon in Spanish for our Spanish-speaking audience. And so if you know of somebody that needs that, please let them know about that, because a lot of people, like I said, don't know about this resource. The even cooler thing about it is it's in the process right now of being translated into Thai. We have missionary friends in Thailand who have hired a professional translator to translate this for us into Thai. And God willing, in the near future, we will have a version that's also in Thai. They're using it for their training program over there right now to raise up disciples, to give these guys a foundation for what discipleship is. Because a lot of these guys, even though they may have been in the church for a long time over there in Thailand, they really don't have a clue about what it means to be a committed disciple of Yeshua. And this is going to give them the foundation they need for that. And we're very, very, very excited about that. Another exciting little project that I've been invited to participate in is I have a friend who is compiling a book right now of various authors writing on the topic of small groups. And he's asked for me to add my perspective in a couple of chapters of the importance of small groups, specifically in the with the connection being discipleship and hospitality. And so those are the topics that I'm going to be writing about. And so I'm looking forward to that. And I'll give you more details once that book is released. We're hoping to see a release somewhere around the first of the year, I believe. I believe that's when it's scheduled to release. And so the last thing that I want to touch base with you guys on is that, as you've heard, all of these things we're doing and so forth, with giving away a lot of our materials and things like that, and republishing and translation and all that kind of stuff, there's expenses involved in those. And we really could use your help to offset some of those expenses. So if you would like to donate towards the prison ministry or the translation, or just a general donation to help cover whatever, please do so. Go to emethatorah.com, and there's a little button on the website that you can donate right there online, and it goes through PayPal and it'll get to us. So I just want to say thank you for in advance for helping us out in that regard. I know you guys are praying for us. I know that you guys are, some of you guys are committed to us financially and helping us, and we're very excited about what we're doing. And as a reminder, also, we've got the big project that I'll talk probably another time and give you some details on. But we still have the big project of the Pirkei Avot commentary that we're working on, and it's exciting. So just want to thank you for everything, and just give other people that may not know a whole lot about Emet HaTorah some information about us and what we're doing, give you a little teaching. And so I'm very, very thankful for all of you guys. I'm thankful what the Lord's doing in and through Emet HaTorah and through partners like you. And so God bless you, and I hope to touch base with you guys pretty soon. I'm going to try to do these videos a little bit more frequently so we can keep up to date on things and give a little more teachings and things. So you guys have a blessed day, and let us know if you need anything. If you have any questions, comments, prayer requests, so forth, just email us. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks. Bye.